There you go. This is video 9, I think, eh? So, I just want to keep going on a little bit about yesterday's little rant and what I've accused people of doing, right? This is what happened about Workplace Order WO 16/3. I remember it in my head too, right? Went to Canberra, went for a civil action in a civil court, which is the lowest court in the world. Right, I get there, the solicitors are there, Huey, Dewey and Louie, or whatever you want to call them. Right, I had a meeting with the protection unit before the court case. Now, the lady in the protection unit, she works for the ACT courts, right? She should be neutral in all this. Totally neutral. Because the government solicitors were that arrogant, they didn't want to talk to me face to face, so they were running through this lady. And she got upset with me when I'm going, I've done nothing wrong, lady. At the end of it, she slammed her book and said, Court 8! Nasty, nasty. Right? This was on the 19th of February 2016. Right. Now when I left the court, Magistrate Cush was giving these three people a mouthful. I don't know how long it went for, because he was still going when I left the courts. Jumped in the car, left there about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Right, by the time these solicitors dragged their ass back down to Parliament House where Federal Agent Egan is based at, and she asked them how they went at court, well, they had to tell her the truth. Mate, we're dumbfounded, we don't know what the bloody hell happened. So, Federal Agent Egan put out a warrant for an interview. Only an interview too. Right? So I left there around 2 o'clock. Travelled pretty much straight through, you can work it out on time, distance and speed. I got to Boggabilla around 11:30 or something, I'm not quite sure, but you'll be able to find out off the Boggabilla police on exactly what time. They were waiting for us. Black RAV4 with this number plate. After issues talking with the police officer, and Nicole was standing right next to me, so she knows exactly what was said. Alright? He said that there was a warrant for an interview with me in Bundaberg. He could extradite me to Bundaberg. I said, what are you going to do that for, mate? I'm going there now. I just left Canberra at 2 o'clock. I'm here now. Where do you think I'm going? I've got to go back to work. I'm a fisherman. So, there you put out a warrant on me. Alright? This is the 19th of February. Why don't you come to Bundaberg and have an interview with me? I don't know. Matt Messenger looked up to see if there was anything in the Queensland police records for an interview. Nothing. I think you've made a big mistake. So, I don't think you're a reliable informant, to put it to you that way. In the court in my bail application, what did you say? I went to Geelong to go straight to the Geelong Smart Centre, and that was the only thing I was doing in Geelong. Remember in court, I said my dad was sick in the Geelong hospital, straight across the road from the Geelong Smart Centre. I went in there asking questions, which I did, it's on video. The other thing was that you lied to the courts and said, oh, Mr. Wallace come to Canberra just to harass this certain person. Menace, harass and intimidate him. I didn't go to Canberra for that. I went to Canberra to go for a review of Workplace Order 16, WO 16/3. Proved you wrong a few times in court of the stuff that you come out of your mouth while you're under oath. So you're not a reliable informant. I'm the only one that knows the whole story. You're just getting all your information from hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of different people, and it's gone blown out of proportion. So, I got that off my chest. That just kind of proves everything, because you've left a paper trail, even the protection unit. I know your name, lady. You sent me an email, so don't forget, I've been naming people. Alright. Because all these acts under the Child Support Agency, work under Family Law Act 1975, right? Now, I don't know how to say this, but we live in a land of equal opportunity now. We've got gay and lesbian marriage. We're equal. We're all equal. So, the family courts should not be handing out any payouts like 70-30, 80-20 or anything like that. You've got to be fair, it's got to be equal, right? If you can't come to an agreement between the two people, the magistrate can only do the worst thing it can do, and is to split it 50-50. That's easy. That sorts heaps of shit out in the family courts. Now then it comes down to the issue in the best interests of the children. Well, the best interest of the children is to spend as much time with both parents. So the magistrate should work out on how much time goes to each parent. And if it's 50-50, there's no child support. You're both doing exactly the same, looking after the child. So it comes down to the civil courts and family courts and all that, and they all go in line on how high they are. Right? When you're going through a marriage separation, you go to the civil court, no lawyers. That's between you, the person you separated with, to try and make an agreement with a magistrate or a mediator in between. No lawyers, they're getting money for jam. Right? So, you come to the family law courts. There's only you and the other person and a magistrate. No lawyers. Lawyers make things difficult, twist the law around and do all sorts of stuff. Right? They're getting money. They're taking our children's money. No lawyers. Lawyers should only be there to make the agreement for the courts. That's it. All you family law court solicitors are going to hate me, but fucking stiff shit. You don't get fucking money for sitting on your ass. Right. So, while we're still on the court orders and all that with the family law courts, right, when the person that's got most percentage or whatever percentage of a child, and they do not hand the child over when there's court orders saying that you can have your child every second weekend, halfway through the half of the holidays and all that, right? These are court orders from a court higher than the magistrate's court. You go to the police and you go, hey, my ex won't let me see me kids. The police say, hey, that's a civil matter. Sorry, police. That's breaking a court order higher than a magistrate's court. You should be going and taking these people in front of them to the magistrate, right? And just to rub shit into the wounds, right? I've even got proof on what women or people do with their child support money, and they're laughing and flaunting about it, right? Because, really flaunting, because there's a Facebook group, it's in Burnett Heads. It's where I work out of most of the time, right? They've got a Facebook group called the Bad Mothers Club. I know half the people that started it, right? Personally, I knew them before they even started it. And what they write on their own personal Facebooks is ridiculous, right? They're flaunting what they're doing with child support money. And they're saying they're bad mothers. Why, if they're bad mothers, why have they got these children? Just have a look at it. It's under the Bad Mothers Club. They flaunt it on social media. Stupid people do stupid shit. So, that's that off my chest. Burnett Head single mothers. Unbelievable. Alright, got through that. Alright. Now, I've got my computer on the side here, and I've looked up the Department of Human Services, Workplace Health and Safety. Alright. I'll tell you one other one. Workplace Health and Safety and the DHS agreement, which is to do with the Department of Human Services employees. Alright. Remember, you all still got to run under a code of conduct, right? And Occupational Health and Safety, and the Privacy Act, and the Family Law Act. Now, they have to abide by these. Even Mr. Keith Pitt, the MP, for Hinkler. Remember, mate, you've got a code of conduct you've got to run by. I know occupational health and safety. I was a glazier. Right? You've got to look after the public. So, really, how are you doing this when you look at your workplace health and safety thing and see what you're doing, and you do know how many people get murdered, you do know how many people commit suicide, but that'll come up because it's in your legislation. And then I'll say, well, you do know. You just don't want to let that information out. You want to keep it hidden. Christ's sake, it's 3 times higher than the road toll. And look what happens when the road toll starts rising. Look what the police do. And getting into the solicitors and all the family law courts and all that, right? They get in there. They make people angry against each other because of their actions. They inflame a situation that should be simple, and they blow it out of proportion until the two parties are fighting. They get that going, they make shitloads of money. And the longer they keep it going, the more the money they get. And I know that from the bloke I used to work for in Geelong, at North Geelong Glass. He told me everything. I know. So, he'll probably agree with what I'm saying. So, shit. I don't know. It's not rocket science, I don't think. But all this legislation, chasing legislation all over the joint. I wrote it up on Facebook on child support time for reform because some lady got up me. I said, you work it out the way I worked it out. Get 4 copies of it, put 1 copy on the floor, and cut the breast out and put them in the pieces where you'd join them up to. Right, and then you've got to get the family law court one going. Then you've got to get the Privacy Act to put it into it, to work it all out properly. Now I did all that manually, old school. So, mate, you try and do that and see what happens. That's because how come I know so much about it. Alright. There's bits in there about delegations too, but we won't get into that. Now, there's one that I'm going to put a little bit of a spin to. Alright. So, to start off, I rang up the complaints line, made me complaint. They denied everything, right? So, I made a complaint in writing, stating that I want an apology and I wanted like a bit of an insurance that this is not going to ever happen to anybody else. Right? I got the reply from that. So then I thought, alright, you want to be like that? The next letter, which should have went to the SSAT, which is now the AAT. Alright, in that I said, well, I lost 4 years work as an adult apprentice. They didn't even let me finish my trial period, and trial periods are trial periods. If something goes wrong, they've got every right to arsehole you. So I thought I lost $150,000 because of their actions, right? Which I did. And they just done their compensation case, like didn't even take it to the AAT. So then, a while later, like 6 years, 5 years later, after doing all research and stuff, I sent a letter in and saying, well, hey, compensation. Now it's this many years, I want $360,000. So they told me to get stuff there too. So if I'm right and prove you's wrong, right, this is what I want off yous now. Like, I've been fair all the way through this, but this is what I want off yous, right? I want what you penalise people, right? So you get your gross income. I've got 2 children, so it's 26% of that gross income, right? Work that down to a yearly rate, right? And whatever that yearly rate is, I want you 12%, because that's what you charge everybody else. This is like going fishing, because I get paid percentage of catch. I've thrown the line out now, waiting for a bite. Someone's going to bite sooner or later. So, yeah, I don't know what to say. maybe see you tomorrow. See you later, peoples.